This is the wrap-up for the live market open for Tuesday, March 22nd. Sad news today from Brussels dominates the news. Explosions at the airport, explosion at a metro station close to the EU headquarters. 10 or 11 people dead at least in the capital of the European Union. It's breaking news. Things are still going on today. We still don't have a confirmation of who did that, how many people are dead, if we might have further events, hopefully not. It already has quite an impact on markets. It happened an hour and a half ago in the first explosions at the airport, and now at the metro. Euro dollar is clearly down, reached a low of 111.88, was trading around 112.50. 112.15 is the line it broke below, and I think it still works. Well, we're getting close back to this line, but I think it could work as resistance. 111.88 is the low. Further support 110.70. High resistance, I would say, only at 113.75. Pound dollar certainly suffering as well. Also here we had a bounce, probably a false break under 142.80, as it seems for now at least. But we had a clear break under a convincing one under 143.65. Further resistance 144.40, further support 142.40, 141.75, of course the round number of 140. Dollar yen, the yen gaining on safe haven flows, a bounce currently from the lows to 111.37. 111.52 is the level we're reading now. Support at 111, the line in the sand, and resistance very nicely at 112.20. Okay, look how 112.20 was support twice and now resistance. 111 was a double bottom, actually a triple bottom if we ignore these moves right here. Dollar CAD currently around 131 in range between the round 130 level and 131.70. Oil prices are higher, but the bad news from Brussels still has a negative impact. Let's continue. Trying to pick up more news there. Aussie dollar suffered some job owning from Glenn Stevens. It didn't do much, but what's happening in Brussels does weigh on the pair. Had this small move to the downside. 75.50 was the level last seen, but we had a bounce back to the previous range. 75.75 is the current level. Yeah, quite a tight range over there. And the Kiwi dollar is sliding, reached a low of 67.20, currently around 67.40, support 67, resistance 68.20. Before we had these blasts, we had other news coming out yesterday. We had what was surprising was to hear from the Fed officials, Lockhart, Lecker, and Williams, but especially Lockhart, say that April is certainly a live meeting and certainly an opportunity to raise rates. Okay, so that was a bit surprising. It had limited impact on the dollar, but we could, if we hear that more and more, it could be a significant backtrack from the rate hike talk. Sorry, the dovish talk we heard last week from the Fed. Okay, there is speculation about an agreement on freezing oil production. I think that isn't serious, especially as Iran is not in the picture, and especially as the motivation is low because oil prices are relatively higher. The meeting comes on April 17th in Doha, Qatar. Something to watch out for. Another thing to watch out for is the primaries in the United States, especially in Arizona. Markets are fearful, and I think rightfully so, of a Trump presidency. And of course, it's a long path to the White House, but anyway, I think it'll have a growing impact on markets every primaries contest, and we have quite a few from now until early June. Anyway, data yesterday was not that significant. Misses on U.S. existing home sales and also on Eurozone consumer confidence. Today, it was supposed to be a busy morning. It still is a busy morning in terms of indicators. German PMIs were mixed, French PMIs were mixed. We have Eurozone PMIs. The most important thing is the German IFO business climate coming out in around 15 minutes. Again, a bit overshadowed by the news coming out from Brussels. In UK inflation figures important for the pound. I still think it'll have an impact, at least around the decision, half an hour before or after. Most important thing is headline inflation. Second is the core inflation. We also have the German zoo economic sentiment at 10, but it's the second in line to the IFO and coming out afterwards. And today we have things going on in Brussels. So yeah, US market flash manufacturing PMI at a quarter to 2 GMT. And more importantly, in Canada, we have the annual budget release, critical for the Bank of Canada, critical for the Canadian dollar, bigger stimulus, stronger CAD, less stimulus, weaker CAD. That's basically what we need to know about that. We talked about everything. Let's see if we have more news from Brussels, and we'll have another look at the charts before we head off. So thanks to Natural reporting here that the German ARD, its television station, says shots were heard and Arabic shouting. Is the UK holding back its data? Okay. Anyway, yeah, and the comment here, sell euro yen for risk off my view. Yeah, so far this has been going on. This trade has been looking quite successful this morning. So we have some stability here. Euro dollar at 112.02 after the big fall. It could be temporary. Euro yen, certainly a bigger market mover. It fell all the way to 124.67, now bouncing back to 125, but a break under 125.50 and a big fall from the highs. So undoubtedly significant move. More news that I can see here. Airport attack blamed on suicide bomber. Unconfirmed. Several people injured in the metro explosion at Malbek metro station. Yeah, various leaders all over the world are expressing shock and horror. Yeah, that's it for now. Anyway, so thank you very much for everybody coming to the show this morning. A lot of focus was on the bad news from Brussels. And so it's quite sad. Explosions, people killed, metro and airport shut down, and this could have a much wider impact, as we've seen from the Paris attacks. Stronger dollar, even stronger yen, weaker currencies elsewhere, and yeah, so stay safe, everybody, in markets and on the street. And yeah, and see you tomorrow. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming. So that's it. Thank you, and bye-bye.